Go ahead.
Oh, video.
Rolling? Yeah, video.
Oh,
Big time, Nathan.
no.
Second day of the Rondy 2010, the 75th anniversary. Here with Nathan Sterling. This is Nathan's rookie Rondy run. Him and his wife, Jennifer, have been limited class racers for quite a while. Done super well. They won the Limited North American last year. I'm particularly interested in Nathan's story because it's a great story about moving up from limited class. Tell us about what it's like to move up to Rondy from running 8 dogs.
A little different. It's you're used to going 100% just flying, and you get out here and dogs don't have to fly.
Right.
I mean, it does take a little different dog. We found that some of the limited dogs they can do it, but they're not what we want.
Right, they're not comfortable doing it.
They'll do it just fine. We got a couple that they don't eat very good, and I was trying to nurse them through. And everybody has that, but the whole goal will be to find dogs that are just good at it, easy.
Right.
A little bit smaller dog, but we've been trying to breed for it for a while, so we got quite a few.
And you know what you're doing. You have a lot of good mentors to help you out and talk to. I mean, you live in the mushing capital of the world, basically, right in the Matsu Valley with the rest of us.
I think me and Bill have talked about stuff about once every week since December.
Yeah. And you got to make sense of all of that. That's a lot of information. I've talked to Bill before.
So he's been really helpful.
Yeah.
That's good.
How did the dogs react to stretching your training out? And you're probably training, 8, 10, 12 miles for limited class, and this year you had to train over 20 miles, I'm sure, for a little bit.
Well, we started out with, since we didn't know who was going to do it, what we're going to have, Carrie said, take them, everybody, doesn't matter how big they are, just take them all and see who can go far. And we did, and we found out who can go. And I got limited dogs that we dropped that did all the 22 milers.
Wow.
That could do it. They just were not as good as some of the other ones.
Right.
And you pick and choose, and then we weeded it down. And when you pulled those out, we had about 18, and we tried to keep 16 healthy for the race.
Right.
And that includes one yearling in this race.
Wow, amazing. Seeing you said it takes a slightly different dog, would you change your breeding program in the future? I mean,
no.
Selection of dogs, I mean, would you select for different dogs to breed from, or still the best dogs you had then, 2 years ago, the same dogs you're going to breed for Rondy dogs?
Exactly.
Yeah, just maybe keep different ones out of those litters.
Yeah, and it's not just that. We were breeding open class dogs for limited class, in which most people do. I mean, you don't breed a dog that can only do 6 miles to pick some of your best dogs. And
so you were selecting the dogs with the best gaits and the longevity anyway.
Yeah, I took a dog yesterday that did not have a very good gait, but we knew it. She did a lot of the runs. She missed some of the runs, and she won't go to it today. And we just knew that. But we only got 6 more yearlings, so really, you take what you got.
Yeah.
And unless you're somebody like Bill who has a few more, or Terry who's got a lot to choose from, all of us that run small kennels, you don't get a choice. And it's going to be a really hard fight to make it to the top when you don't have a big kennel.
You got to play the hand you're dealt, so to speak, and
and
do the best with it.
We bred 2 litters last year. We got 12 yearlings coming up, that we're running this year, and I think every one of them did all the training up to this point. I mean, the yearling she raced in lead in the Exxon 8 dog and the 10 dog did all 22 milers with us, and he would go on the team, but he got a little sore in the 10 dog race. So, really, we got dogs coming up, so it'll be nice to get a few more in there. And the whole goal for this race was A, to finish, and B, to try to see what we needed to do.
Yeah.
Different training. The dogs got sick this year for Exxon, so it put us behind quite a bit.
How did they bounce back from that?
With a lot of money trying to get stuff in them to get them back. They came back, but they're not like they were.
Not 100%.
I mean, yesterday was a really hard run. It was a hard trail. The trail was, good. It was a little soft in spots. And today I hope it'll be a little harder and easier, but a lot of our long runs were on a nice trail. Right. They were colder out. And that's one thing we might change next year is I'll try to do a lot more harder runs.
Bottom on it, yeah.
Try to get some runs where they're going through slush and stuff.
Yeah.
But the last 22 they did was the end of January.
Yeah.
So they haven't run anything over. They did 117. That was it since Exxon.
Yeah.
And really, that ain't enough. They needed to have done a couple more, but they need to be healthy. So next year we'll have to debate on our goals on what we're going to do and see if we put an open team in Exxon or not.
Yeah.
Because we did a lot of damage in Exxon. And when this is the goal,
Yeah.
you really don't want to do that.
That's the thing about this race. A lot of mushers who gear up for this race, it's hard for them to be competitive in all the other races in Alaska up to that point, right? This is kind of a league of its own.
It's really hard because you got to get up on miles. We did 20s and 22s before the Classic.
Yeah.
And then you go do some 16s. Well, that's fine. But then you go back and you're doing 12s in races. That
Yeah.
can't be happening. We got to have. If this is the focus for open class racing, which is for every driver on this street, some of these open class races got to be farther than that. We got to see what the dogs can do more than 12 miles.
Punch it out a little further than that. Yeah.
An 8-dog team can do 12 miles.
Yeah.
An 8-dog team training cannot do 18.
Right. Exactly.
And we start seeing the difference, but we'll see how it goes today.
All right. Well, they're pee testing your dogs. I'll let you get back to everything.
Well, yeah, because
Thanks for your time.
silent drugs I give, we gotta keep them out of there.
Good luck today, Nathan.
Thanks, Gary.
Take care.